So technically, I guess today, I've been fully independent for a year. And that coincides with a couple things. One, the launch of Cyberpunk, which, it's been a test for some obvious reasons that I'm just not, I could not get into even if I wanted to because I just don't have information. But also, I finally filed paperwork and I am officially my own business owner now. I have an LLC and I don't quite have accounts tied to it yet. But yeah, everything that I've done this year has kind of moved in that direction. And I kind of needed to sort my thoughts out about what I wanted to do with that momentum or if I wanted to do anything at all. And there's been, I hate to allude to this because it seems so needlessly mysterious. But there's been some things I've worked on this year that were pretty important, was pretty good and pretty cool work. And it could turn into more stuff in 2021. And again, it's weird to be shadowy about that, but essentially, like, I did have stuff on deck for 2020. COVID basically wiped them all out, or changed pretty much all of them, which is fine. Not complaining, but this year was not what anyone expected, I think. But for me, I think I was blessed enough to have enough people who were generous enough with their time and their money that wasn't really a thing to panic about. I was able to just really relax, I think. I've been wound up pretty tight my whole life. These are things I'm just now starting to figure out. I feel like not having a support network or a safety system will do that to you. You just, once you have the fear, right? Once you've been served an eviction notice, or you've had to like really humble yourself and like ask for money from shitty, just once that hits you, it wedges in there pretty deep, and it can be hard to let off the gas after that, or to live with, I guess, that uncertainty. But I've been very lucky to not have to do that anymore. But I was willing to, still am. So I've been trying to, this year actually, it's been a lot of sort of digging around in my own brain. This is relevant because going forward, I think I'm in a good spot now to want to build stuff back up. I'm kind of in the process with that. I'm working with some editors, one or maybe several of them are in chat. Looking forward to scaling up that investment. It's going to force me to like think about things that I should spend time on and things that I shouldn't spend time on, or I think even more excitingly, like hiring people to take care of those things. So yeah, kind of opening myself up more to the potential of going down the same path of like making a thing and building a thing with a group, but like trusting that I won't get swallowed up by it again. Yeah, I guess what scaling up means is YouTube, more produced YouTube stuff, more thought out, higher scale YouTube production. That seems to be the easiest place to gain ground right now. In terms of like developing opportunity. I'm gonna do some reviews. I love reviews. I love reviewing games a lot, and people really enjoy them too. It's what I really like doing is sharing notes on games, or providing an angle for people to appreciate the good and hard work that goes into them. That's the most rewarding thing to do, and I think reviews are pretty good at doing that. But man, games discourse can get exhausting, insufferable sometimes. So maybe that's just on me. I need to get more one way about it. I just need to put up a video and walk away from it, I think. Here's another thing that really complicates it. If you're a reviewer, people don't pay you. I guess that's kind of straightforward what it is. If you're going to produce a video package on a game and you're going to do it under the guise of editorial production, then you'll never get sponsor money for it ever, because they don't need to. You do it for free. And that's fine, but then it's like the YouTube revenue's not enough to justify the time spent on it. So then I don't know that it's rewarding enough. Sometimes it feels like the overhead of putting your opinion out there, like it gives people the false impression that you have to listen to them back. And that sounds so crappy, but you do, I think. I think if you put your opinion out there and people ask for clarification on it, you owe people that. So there's an overhead. There's an overhead to being an opinion sayer on today's internet. And feeding that machine is time consuming because it's just so noisy. It's worrisome because I think it is a real possibility, although slight, that if your opinions differ enough from people who are mad enough about it, they can like assassinate your character, or at least just cause annoyances for you. They can take your time. They can do that. Okay, so let me share this. Here's some things that I'm very proud of this year. The easiest one is that I just made way more money. And again, that's everyone watching now, it's your money. So thank you for that. Thank you for giving it to me. I guess there was some that wasn't directly your money. I also managed to negotiate and execute some sponsorships on my own. Some recurring ones. Negotiated my own sponsorship by G Fuel, and yeah, I get it as memes, but G Fuel's actually been really good sponsor for me. And I I tried the product before I used it, so memes notwithstanding, I was like, shit, this is actually all right. They seem like good people. It's been a great relationship so far, and just got affiliate with Good Old Games. Have been a huge fan of Good Old Games for years. Tough nuggies this morning. Now onto the less like notable thing. So aside from just ranking higher on the scoreboard of life, that is an annual salary, I was able to use that money for meaningful things. It wasn't just like, I feel like a more valid person now because I'm rich. But here's the cool stuff. That overhead allowed me to designate more than 10% of my flat income this year to charitable causes. That's something that always meant a lot to me. I always wanted to make sure that when I had the chance, I would be able to just turn a fire hose of money towards the charities that matter to me. Starting with Prevent Cancer Foundation with Games Done Quick. In January's Meals on Wheels, some recurring donations to them. Basically trying to make sure that people can have food. The New South Wales Fire Service, recall when Australia was on fire, and that was the biggest thing we had to worry about. Oh, it got so much worse, didn't it? But yeah, Direct Relief, the Bail Project, and the Legal Defense Fund to help those participating in activism in the George Floyd protests. Donations to St. Baldrick's to help prevent or help fuel the research in the fight against pediatric cancer. Donations to Red Cross to help out with Hurricane Laura relief. Donations to Stack Up and Able Gamers. Tons of amazing causes. Basically all tied to games and how gaming can help the world. And then also food. You can't game if you don't have food. Or your health. So basically charitable causes to help people get fed and stay alive. And then also get games out there and help people out with that. So wanted to make sure that you guys knew that when you hit a Prime button or a sub button here, that's kind of what it's fueling is good stuff. It's not all just like, I've long thought like, wait, after a certain point, after you have a top of the line PC, and after you have all the video games you can play, what is there to want for in life? So I have pretty simple desires, so I'm glad that I could use that money for something else. On top of that, I'm gonna brag a little bit about this. On top of being a coastal wine-swilling, liberal, snooty elite, I was able to create some work for people this year. My streaming and sponsorship money and all that stuff was giving me enough overhead that I could start paying editors. So was able to reach out and create some relationships with some very hard workers. Have experienced growth from that. Not quite enough to really kick things into high gear. I think this is kind of where I have to start being more realistic about what I spend my time on. There's some tasks that could be work for someone else and then opens me up to do more high-level planning. I didn't want to get into that right away because that was jumping right back into the sort of work that I was doing before, which is coordinating, communicating, solving interpersonal problems, all that stuff. Wasn't super happy to bite that off just yet, but now I'm kind of feeling it. I'm feeling it back in there. Actually, that may be about it. Who knows? Like there were still things on deck for a world without COVID. So maybe those will kick up again and it'll be interesting. Yeah. My goal, I don't know that I really have a goal. I would like to create more, like I think my goals are twofold. Number one, creatively, I want to be the kind of game criticism that I don't see anymore or much of anymore. I shouldn't be so absolute. Thoughtful, constructive, elevating. There is an amount of that. I think the revenue that I earn just by streaming would allow me to be kind of independent of the market forces that sort of push that sort of thing. Logistic goal number two, I would like to create and be the vector for more money getting to more people connected with video games. To me, it's one thing to tell people games are great. It's another to give somebody the opportunity to earn a living connected with gaming. Either editing gaming footage or creating thumbnails or writing scripts, like anything. Because I was desperate for those opportunities. So if I'm in the place now to make those for people, get people more money so they can buy food and top the line PCs and video games so they could be happy, that would be very fulfilling to me right now. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So that's hopefully 2021. It would be nice to be able to get on a plane because there's some things I would like to do, some people I would like to meet. But we'll see if that happens. And hey, you know what? If the bare minimum is I get to just hang out with you guys and play some more video games, and I can take another year of that. I think that covers it. I think that covers my informational and sentimental outreach. Thank you guys for entertaining that. I do appreciate it.